Let's take a look at the problems involving money questions. Now you can use a calculator for all of these with the exception of questions 1 and 2. So here's question number 1. We're converting pounds into pence. You know that £1 is 100 pence. So pounds into pence, we're multiplying by 100. But there's a much easier way rather than thinking about, well, what is 2.00 multiplied by 100? Just simply rewrite this number but take the decimal point away. So 2.00 becomes 200 pence. 1.29, 129 pence. So this is 109 pence. This is 024 pence, in other words 24 pence. This is 3,168 pence. Continuing, we've got 950 pence. Again, just losing the decimal point basically. 344 pence, 112,999 pence, 1,287 pence, and 7,195 pence. Question number 2, we're converting pence into pounds. £1 is 100 pence. Converting pounds to pence, we are multiplying by 100. So pence into pounds, we are dividing by 100. So 54 divided by 100 is 0.54. So that's £0 and 54 pence. 112, again, all we need to do here is just create 2 decimal places. So 1.12, so £1.12. 99p is 0.99. 3p, we need to be a bit careful here, that is not 0.3, it's 0.03. For e, we're just going to create 2 decimal places, so 35.51. 66p is £0 and 66p, so 0.66. Remembering that all we're doing here is we are dividing by 100. 4,000 divided by 100 is nice and easy, just chop off the 2 zeros, so that's 40. 108 pence is £1.08. 236 is £2.36, and 971 pence is £9.71. Question number 3, Anthony earns, so we can use a calculator now. Anthony earns £10.19 per hour. So how much does it cost to employ him for 1 hour? Well, that's fairly easy. If it's £10.19 per hour, then for 1 hour it's just going to be £10.19. For 6 hours, it's going to be £10.19 multiplied by 6, and that comes to a total of £61.14. For 10 hours, we're going to multiply this figure here by 10, and that comes to a total of £101.90. For 3 hours, we just need to do £10.19 multiplied by 3, and that comes to £30.57. And 20 hours, we can multiply this number by 20, or if you like, if you're feeling a bit clever, 20 is double 10, so you could always just double this figure here. Doesn't really matter, but you'll get the same answer anyway, which is £203.80. Question number 4, Sally has earned £5,040 as an executive of a company. How many hours has Sally worked if her wage is £20 per hour? So how many 20s go into this figure here? So what we need to do is 5,040 divided by 20, and 5,040 divided by 20, that comes to 252. So that's 252 hours. And we can double check. If she's earning £20 per hour and she works 252 hours, then what is 252 times 20? 252 times 20. Oh yeah, great, it is 5,040. So for the rest of these questions, it's going to be pretty similar. It's 5,040 divided by 24, 5,040 divided by 28, and 5,040 divided by 36. So let's just reach for the calculator, quickly work these out. 5,040 divided by 24 is 210 hours. 5,040 divided by 28 is as he types in quickly here, 180 hours, and 5,040 divided by 36 is 140 hours. Question number 5. Moira and Tim are both employed in the same job by the same company. Moira worked 9 hours on Friday and was paid $92.70, so how much does she get paid per hour? So she earned this figure here for 9 hours. So for 1 hour, we just need to divide 92.70 by 9, and that comes to a total of £10.30. Moira suspects Tim's being paid more than her. She asked Tim how much he earned yesterday, and he says £65.40, and he worked a 6-hour shift. So what's his hourly rate? Well, it's going to be the £65.40 divided by 6, and that comes to £10.90. So Moira is correct. Tim is being paid more because £10.90 is obviously greater than £10.30. Moira and Tim have both had pay rises to £11 per hour. If Moira works 8 hours more than Tim, how much more will she earn? Well, she'll earn 8 times £11 more, and 8 11s are £88, so she'll earn £88 more. At the end of the month, Moira got paid £1,133. So how many hours did she work? So remember that her pay is £11 per hour, and so all we need to do is just divide this figure here by 11, and 1133 divided by 11 comes to 103 hours. Question number 6. So Hendrik buys a new phone on a pay-as-you-go SIM. The charges are as follows. Hendrik talks to his mum for 30 minutes. So how much does that cost him? So that's going to be 30 times 2p. 30 times 2, that's 60p. He exchanges 45 texts with a friend. So that's going to be 45 multiplied by 5 pence. And 45 times 5 is 225 pence. In other words, £2.25. At the end of the month, Hendrix has spent 450 minutes on the phone and has sent 200 texts. When he got his phone, he was offered a £20 per month contract. Was pay-as-you-go cheaper than the contract? Right, so what we need to do is work out how much did it cost for 450 minutes and 200 texts. So that's 450 minutes at 2p per minute, so that's 900 pence. And then the 200 texts is 200 multiplied by 5, which is 1,000 pence. So in total, that's 1,000 plus 900, which is 1,900 pence. In other words, £19. The contract was £20, so pay-as-you-go was cheaper by £1. Question number 7 isn't that bad, but it is very easy to get wrong answers. We need to be really careful that we read this information closely. So how much does Complete Logistical Solutions spend on rent each month? So let's take a look at the rent. Rent is here. So it's got 8 warehouses at £15,000 per month each. So shouldn't go wrong on 7A. So all we need to do is multiply 15,000 by 8, and that comes to a total of £120,000. How much does Complete Logistical Solutions spend on maintaining lorries each month? So the lorry maintenance is this row here. So it's 30 lorries to maintain at £500 per month each. So that's simply 30 multiplied by 500, and 30 multiplied by 500, that's £15,000. How much do they spend on equipment in total? Well, we've already worked out that the maintenance of the lorries is £15,000. On top of that, there's a new lorry every month, which is £35,000. And on top of that, some other equipment totaling £3,000. So all we need to do is just simply add these three figures together, 15 plus 35 plus 3,000, and that comes to a total of £53,000. Moving on to D. How many staff does Complete Logistical Solutions Limited have in total? Well, there's 200 on basic, 50 on management rate, 44 on HGV rate, and then 5 plus 1, so that's plus 6. And if we add all of these together, that comes to 300 members of staff. How much does Complete Logistical Solutions spend on catering each month? So we're told that each member of staff works 20 shifts, and we don't need how many hours they work and how long their breaks are at this stage. So each worker, so there's 300 workers, 20 shifts per month, where they all get a meal. So every member of staff has a meal every shift, so 1 meal per shift, so that's 300 members of staff times 20 shifts times £2.10 the cost per meal, and that comes to a total of £12,600. Staff wages, this is a little bit on the tricky side. So we need to be careful. This is their hourly rate and we want per month. So the shift is 8.5 hours with an unpaid half-hour break. So that means they are paid for 8 hours per day. So if we just take a look at the 200 on the basic rate, so that's 8 hours and there's 20 shifts per month. So it's going to be 8 times 20, and that's going to be multiplied by the 200 members of staff, and then that is times the £10.49 per hour, and that comes to a total, if we just type that into the calculator, that comes to a total of £335,680. We can do a similar calculation for the 50 on management rates. That's 50 people working 20 shifts in a month, 8 hours per day at, this is £18 per hour, and that comes to a total of £144,000. Then we got 44 people doing 20 shifts of 8 hours at £22 per hour, and that comes to a total of £154,880. And then we've got 5 on 4,000 per month, so 5 times 4,000, well that's nice and easy, that's just 20,000 there. And then we've got this one CEO on 10,000, so that's just 10,000. So the total monthly wage bill is going to be 20,000 plus 10,000 plus 335,680 plus the 144,000 plus the 154,880, and that comes to a grand total of £664,560. So how much does Logistical Solutions spend in total each month? Well, the staffing costs we've just worked out for part F. The catering we already worked out, and that came to a total of 12,600. We've also got the miscellaneous, which we've not had to play around with yet. The rent we worked out earlier in question 7, and that came to 120,000. And then the combination of these three equipment charges, that came to 53,000. So all we need to do is add 120,000, 53,000, 12,600, 8,000, and our total for the wages, which we worked out in part F, and that comes to a grand total of £858,160. For question number 8, there's a couple of ways you could do it. So for 8A, what you could do is work out 10% of 100 and then add it on. But what I prefer to do, and it's a bit quicker, but this does mean that you need to understand how percentage multipliers work. If I said to you, for example, what is 56% of, let's say at random, £1,700, then hopefully you know that the multiplier for 56% is 0.56. Now this is the multiplier we use when we're calculating a percentage of an amount. But if you want to increase by a percentage, what we need to do is just add 1 to our basic percentage multiplier. So if you wanted to increase this figure here by 56%, instead of using the multiplier 0.56, you would use 1.56. That'd be 1,700 multiplied by 1.56. So in this question, I'm going to be using these multipliers. You might be wondering, well, where does that number come from? I just wanted to just clarify that now. So what we're going to do here is 100 multiplied by 1.1, and 100 times by 1.1 comes to a total of £110. 40%, the multiplier is 0.4, so for an increase it's going to be 1.4, and 200 multiplied by 1.4 comes to 280. 20%, our multiplier is 0.2, so for an increase it's going to be 1.2, and 50 multiplied by 1.2 comes to a total of £60. 25%, the multiplier is 0.25, so for an increase it's going to be 1.25, and 28 multiplied by 1.25 comes to £35. Multiplier for 5%, we need to be careful here, is 0.05, so the multiplier for the increase is going to be 1.05, and 25 multiplied by 1.05 is £26 and 25 pence. Multiplier for 60% is 0.6, so here we're going to multiply by 1.6, and 35 times 1.6 comes to £56. 15% has a multiplier of 0.15, so for an increase it's going to be 1.15 multiplied by 36, and 36 multiplied by 1.15 comes to £41.40. The multiplier for 95% is 0.95, so here we're going to multiply £150 by 1.95, and 150 multiplied by 1.95 comes to £292.50. This one's a bit horrible because it's being increased by 110%. The percentage multiplier is this figure here divided by 100. So if we're working out 110% of 447, we would use the multiplier 1.1. But since we're increasing by this amount, then we need to add 1 to this. So we're going to be using the multiplier 2.1. So the calculation is 447 multiplied by 2.1, and that comes to a total of £938.70. Our multiplier for 55% is 0.55, so to increase by 55%, we're going to use 1.55, and 95 multiplied by 1.55 comes to a total of £147.25. For question number 9, again, there's two ways we can do these questions. We can either work out, for example, in 9a, we can either work out 10% of 100 and then take it away. B, work out 30% of 200 and take it away. But what I prefer to do is just do it in one step. If something has 10% off, then that means you pay 90% of the original price. So what is 90% of 100? Well, that's 0.9 multiplied by 100, which is £90. If something has 30% off, that means you're paying 70% of the original price. So what is 70% of 200? The multiplier for 70% is 0.7. So 0.7 times 200 is the calculation we need, and that is £140. If something is discounted by 80%, that means it's 80% off, so you pay 20%. So what is 20% of 90? The multiplier for 20% is 0.2, and 0.2 multiplied by 90 is £18. If something is 75% off, then that means you pay 25%. So what is 25% of 32? The calculation is 0.25 multiplied by 32, and that is £8. 5% off means you pay 95%. So what is 95% of 75? Well, the multiplier for 95% is 0.95. So the calculation is 0.95 multiplied by 75, and that comes to a total of £71.25. 60% off means you're paying 40% of the original amount. What is 40% of 85? The multiplier for 40% is 0.4. So 0.4 times 85 comes to a total of £34. If it's 15% off, then you're paying 85%. The multiplier for 85% is 0.85. So that's our calculation, 0.85 multiplied by 57, and that comes to a total of £48.45. 90%, that's a massive discount, so if something is 90% off, then that means you pay 10%. The multiplier for 10% is 0.1. So what we need to do is just type into our calculator 0.1 times 555, and that comes to a total of £55.50. 20% off means you pay 80% of the original amount. The multiplier for 80% is 0.8. So there's our calculation, 0.8 multiplied by 47, and that comes to a total of £37.60. 55% off means you're paying 45% of the original price. and the multiplier for 45% is 0.45. Again, for all of these questions, it's really important that you understand how multipliers work. Otherwise, you must be thinking, where on earth do all these crazy numbers come from? So that might be something you need to work on. But 0.45 multiplied by 925 is the calculation, and that comes to a total of £416.25. And finally, question 10. So 10A says, if the company made 35% profit in 2019, how much profit did it make? So we're just calculating 35% of this figure here. The multiplier for 35% is 0.35. So it's 0.35 multiplied by 335000, and that comes to a total of 117,250. B's not too hard, but it's really important we read the question carefully. It's talking about 2021. So if the company made 85% profit in this year, so the first thing I'm thinking is, well, what is 85% of this amount? So that is 0.85 multiplied by £610,000, and that comes to a total of £518,500. So that's the profit. Did it make more profit than the 2020 outgoings? Now the 2020 outgoings is this figure here. Since 518,500 is greater than that figure there, then yes, it did make more profit in 2021 than the 2020 outgoings. The company made 60% profit in 2020, so straight away I'm thinking, well, what is 60% of this figure here? So that is 0.6 multiplied by £450,000, and that comes to a total of £270,000. So that's the profit in 2020, and this is split evenly between 3 people, so we just need to divide that by 3, and 270,000 divided by 3 is £90,000.